Paul Gilbert was born on 6 November 1966 in Carbondale, Illinois. When he was only 15, Gilbert contacted the founder of Shrapnel Records named Mike Varney with looking for a job playing with Ozzy Osbourne. Gilbert didn't get his job playing with Osbourne, but Mike Varney was so impressed with the boy playing that he kept in communication with him. When Gilbert was 16, Varney featured him in his Spotlight column in the February issue of Guitar Player magazine. After graduating high school, Gilbert moved to Los Angeles to attend the Guitar Institute of Technology. Gilbert was such an advanced student that he was hired on an instructor when he graduated. While he was attending the Guitar Institute of Technology, Paul met John Alderete, another student at the school. The two enlisted the help of drummer Harry Gschoesser and singer Jeff Martin, who had been playing in the metal band Surgical Steel. Since Surgical Steel was based in Phoenix, he couldn't be at writing session. Gilbert recorded demos and sent them to Jeff to write lyrics for the band going by the name RacerX, and began recording their first album, Street Lethal. Street Lethal immediately gained Paul Gilbert the reputation as a member of the new style of guitar playing known as a neoclassical popularized by Yngwie Malmsteen and Randy Rhodes. The track YRO on the album acknowledges Malmsteen's influence on Gilbert. YRO stands for Yngwie Rip Off. The success of the album led to Gilbert receiving an endorsement deal with Ibanez guitars. The band took a second guitarist for their next album. Gilbert, who was still teaching at the Guitar Institute of Technology, was particularly impressed with the skill of one of his students named Bruce Bouillet and invited him to join RacerX. The two guitarists redefined RacerX sounds, borrowing the twin lead guitar concept from bands like Judas Priest and merging it with the new classical and straight guitar sound of the band. RacerX was almost left without a drummer for the second album when Harry Gschoesser's visa expired and he had to return home to Austria. He was replaced by Scott Travis, who was the first choice for drummer when the band was formed. Travis couldn't join the band then because he had steady gig with the band in Virginia. The second album, Second Hit, was released in February 1988. By the time the band was reaching the height of popularity, they were selling out shows and getting a steady stream of bookings. They recorded 2 live albums of back-to-back performances at the Country Club Live Extreme Volume 1 and Live Extreme Volume 2. The band was growing increasingly dissatisfied with not being able to secure major label distribution. And when Billy Sheehan left, David Lee Rhodes group and invited Gilbert to join his new project, and Gilbert accepted. Sheehan's new band with Gilbert on lead guitar was dubbed Mr. Big. The band's self-titled debut has a major label release under Atlantic Records in 1989. The album was a big seller in Japan but failed to bring them major sales in the United States. Their breakthrough stateside came with the release of their second album, Lean Into It. The album singles To Be With You was #1 in 15 countries. The band's next 2 albums were not as successful in the US, but the band's fame continued to rise in Japan. In 1997, Gilbert left Mr. Big and recorded a solo album under Mr. Big's Japanese label. A year later, Gilbert got an idea to relaunch RacerX with the help of his new Japanese label. The label agreed, as did all of the members of RacerX except Bruce Bouillet. The resulting album technical difficulties went gold in Japan. The label wanted another album, and RacerX obliged with the recording of Superheroes, which became one of their most popular albums. Gilbert worked as a solo album in 2002, releasing Burning Organ, but the label wanted another RacerX album. The band got together at Gilbert's house in Las Vegas to record the album. The result released later that year was getting heavier. After the album, the band disbanded for good. Paul Gilbert continued work on his solo career, and the other members all found work with other bands. And Paul did reunite briefly with his RacerX bandmates in 2009 to play the NAMM show in Anaheim, California.